Clinical outcome assessments. Invest in millions only to get the basics wrong? Clinical outcome assessments are developed at great expense. If I could guesstimate in US dollars the cost of each COA development phase, it might be as follows. At first, there's the initial planning and design, $50,000 to $150,000. This would include stakeholder meetings and workshops, literature review and gap analysis, questionnaire design and item development, and expert consultation. Then there's qualitative research and qualitative interviewing, $80,000 to $200,000. The activities at this stage would be focus groups, interviews, cognitive debriefing such as content validity, and then concept elicitation, analysis and reporting. Then there's pilot testing and validation between $100,000 to over $500,000. This would include small-scale pilot testing, psychometric validation studies and cross-cultural adaptation. Activities around regulatory submissions then would be $50,000 to $150,000. This typically includes preparation of documentation for submissions such as to FDA or EMA, and before that there will be some kind of regulatory strategy and consultation. Digital platform development would be $100,000 to more than $500,000. These activities would subsume the design of the user interface, software development, HIPAA, GDPR, data security and compliance, UX testing and quality assurance. And then there are miscellaneous costs, around $200,000. This would include translation and cultural adaptation, legal and IP considerations, project management, publication and dissemination. There are a number of factors that influence the development costs. These include the type of COA, i.e. whether patient-reported outcomes or OBS-RAW, PER-4, measures and so on. It can also depend on the complexity of the disease or condition it was designed for, the number of languages for adaptation, the sample size and geographic scope, as well as regulatory requirements and the complexity of the digital platform being developed. Regarding geographic scope, this will only ever increase costs as more developers are wising up to the fact that there needs to be more diversity of sample cohorts. So the overall costs range from $500,000 to more than $2 million. This is for an individual clinical outcome assessment. With this level of investment, why is it then that there is so much variation in the quality of clinical outcome assessments? The next batch of videos on this playlist are on the theme of current practices in the design of COAs. Over the years we have tested thousands of them and we have a feel for good and bad practice. One of the areas that is most deficient in the development of COAs is, inexplicably, the actual wording of the questions. A large part of this is a lack of awareness of the principles of information design, which was the topic of the last video, and questionnaire design is just one part of this. It is vital that developers start incorporating information design expertise in their COA and e-COA development from the outset. A questionnaire that displays problems in the source language will inevitably carry these issues over in translation. In fact, the translation process may even magnify problems of question structure and wording. Often these problems are not discovered or identified using cognitive debriefing as a method of testing patients' understanding of each item. These issues tend to be overlooked and not detected at all in these processes. Given this substantial investment in COA development, clarity and precision in question design should not be an afterthought. It is essential. Without it, there is a risk that the very data that these assessments are built to capture are undermined. The next video in this playlist will examine basic survey design with a focus on question construction. Thank you for listening. This was originally written by Mark Gibson in Leeds, United Kingdom, February 2025.